In 1973, a young girl goes horseback riding with her family, and then something strange happened. It was the 12th of October 1973. A 4-year-old girl, along with her mother, father, and 6-year-old brother, traveled to Fall Creek Falls State Park in Tennessee for a family outing. After lunch, the family decided to do some horseback riding. The witness rode in the saddle with her mother, while everyone else had their own horse. Not long into the trip, the horse her brother was riding on seemed to get spooked by something and bolted off down the trail at a fast pace. The mother, an experienced horse rider, managed to get the horse settled down enough that she could pull the brother off of it. The witness recalled that her father was also having trouble with his horse and was constantly yelling at it to stay on the trail. After the scare with the brother's horse, the two children asked if they could get down and run ahead on the trail. We had no interest in getting back on any horses, the witness recalled. The parents agreed, and the two siblings set off down the trail, leaving their parents to deal with the extra horse. Once alone in the woods, the witness remembered that everything seemed to get strange. Everything around us got very quiet, and there was an odd feeling of stillness in the air. My brother got scared and ran back down the trail, leaving me all alone. Although hazy, the witness next recalled seeing weird, humanoid-looking, gray-skinned beings coming through the woods in her direction. She does not recall what happened after, as if that part of the experience was blocked out. My next memory was being on the edge of the woods with the creatures looking out into the parking lot next to the horse barn. They were saying I had to return to my family, but I recall not wanting to go, but wanting to stay with them. Hesitantly, I walked out of the woods towards the car. I looked over my shoulder one time at them and then walked up to the car. I was not noticed until I got very close to the car. The witness claims that years later, while talking to her mother about the incident, she confirmed to her that she had disappeared off the trail and had been gone for about 45 minutes to an hour, and that she and her father were actively discussing contacting the park ranger to begin a search for her at the same time she appeared next to the car. They had no idea where she had gone to in that space of missing time, and neither does the witness. It's interesting that she mentioned her desire to stay with the beings rather than return to her family. Many people who claim to have been abducted by aliens will speak of this sense of attachment that develops while in the presence of the beings. In some cases, this bond is so powerful it seems to trump relations with the abductee's immediate family, which of course makes no sense. If anything, it provides a perfect example of the being's ability to mentally manipulate their human captives. In 2015, a corrections officer and his fiancée, driving on a road in southern Ontario, encounters something that leaves them questioning if what they saw was real. Summer 2015, late evening, Davis, a provincial corrections officer, along with his fiancée and their dog, had set off in his Mustang for his parents' cottage in the small town of Brighton, Ontario, about 100 kilometers east of their home in Oshawa. Davis remembered pulling off at the Brighton exit and then making a left. They drove down the road for about 10 minutes when Davis noticed something out of the left corner of his eye. Something was traveling along the side of the road in the forest while we were doing around 60 kilometers, and I asked my fiancé, "Are you seeing what I'm seeing right now? That something is moving as fast as we're moving in my vehicle?" Curious as to what it could be, Davis decided to pull over to the side of the road and dig out his flashlight. Me being the tough guy I was, I pulled my Mustang over to the side of the road. Keep in mind that this was around 1 o'clock in the morning because I'd finished a shift and we were going right after work. No lights, no nothing. This thing, when I stopped my vehicle, it stopped too. I walked out of my vehicle. My fiancé is telling me to get back in the vehicle, and no more than around 20 feet away from me was something standing there. Davis could not believe what he was looking at. It almost looked like a werewolf to me and my fiancé. It looked right at me. I looked right at him, or at it. I couldn't tell if it was a him or not. I didn't get to see its genitals, but we looked at each other, and I just got this faint feeling something's wrong. And it looked at me, and it let off this noise, and then it ran back into the forest. Davis ran back to his Mustang and quickly left the scene. When they finally arrived at his parents' cottage, they told them exactly what had happened and what they'd seen. Davis recalled that the creature he spotted had pointed ears and a snout and was walking upright on its hind legs. The thing is, I had my 110-pound Rottweiler in the back. Her name is Mia, she didn't even give out a yelp. She just looked in the general direction, and everyone in the car was just in awe as I got out, and I was actually very afraid. I deal with inmates all day who do heinous crimes, and I couldn't believe my eyes, what I saw. Since the encounter, Davis acknowledged that it has made for some great cottage conversation. He even told some of his co-workers, although they believe that he was merely seeing things. Davis asserts that isn't the case, though. The fact that the creature was sighted by both him and his fiancée leaves him wondering what he saw. Did they really see a werewolf? Is it possible that werewolves actually exist? Anyways, next time you find yourself driving down a dark road in southern Ontario and you notice something keeping pace with your car, don't stop.